Hello, I'm Dawn Priolat, and I am a conscious relationship coach and an intuitive. And today in this video, I want to talk to you about one of the major fears that really gets in the way of attracting a relationship, and that is the fear of rejection. And the reason it's so important to really heal this right at the core is that if you have a fear of rejection, let's say you're walking around with this fear of rejection all the time. Now here's the thing, you may not even be aware that you have it until something actually happens that really triggers it. But it's there all the time in your subconscious mind, it's there in your energy system. But usually what happens, if you have this fear of rejection, to whatever degree that you have it in your energy system, you are going to attract what I call opportunities for growth and opportunities for healing around this issue. Which means, unfortunately, that you are going to attract situations in which you are going to feel rejected. And the good thing about this is that you're only attracting these situations in order that you can heal it. And so you're probably wondering, okay, so how do I heal it? Or is there such a way to heal this? And there is. Fortunately, one of the most effective ways to heal this, first of all, is to acknowledge how powerful you are. Because you are a powerful manifestor, a powerful creator, and so it's like your soul is calling out to heal this feeling of rejection. And in order to do that, we need to go back to the earliest time when this occurred. Because the very first relationship that you ever had with anyone was with mom and dad. Especially, usually mom. And even for those of you who say, oh, but my dad left when I was, born or before I was born. Let me tell you, that has an even greater effect on you. You still have a relationship with your father. I don't care if he's physically present or not. You still have a relationship with him. And even in his absence, he has had a profound effect on you and the choices that you make in relationships. And that's really what I'm all about here, is helping you to clear all of these energies out of your energy system so that you can then make conscious choices in your relationships rather than simply reacting to something that happened to you in your childhood. And it's like we're all kind of, almost as if we're walking around in a fun house where they have, those kind of mirrors where everything looks distorted, and yet we react to it with fear and, as if all of this is real. And that's kind of the way that I think about what we're doing in life, is that we're just walking around reacting to all of these situations as if they're real. So, let's get to the fear of rejection and how to heal it. What I'd like you to do is I want to really get a picture from your subconscious mind. I want you to be able to see what's really going on subconsciously around this issue. So I'd like you to close your eyes and just imagine that your subconscious mind could show you a picture or kind of like a film trailer, a little film clip from a time in your childhood, probably before the age of 7, maybe a little later than that, could be, but a time when you felt rejected. And just imagine that you could even see what it is you're wearing. Notice who's present in the room. What's going on? And then notice in that feeling of rejection, where do you feel it in your body? Is it like a punch to the stomach? Is it a tightness in your chest? where in your body do you feel that feeling of rejection? It's usually a contraction somewhere, because rejection is actually a fear of loss, a fear of, it's really about survival, especially when it comes to your parents rejecting you. It really is about survival. So where does that child feel it? And so when you're ready, you can just open your eyes. And now we're going to do some EFT tapping with you keeping in mind that image that your subconscious mind just showed you of that earliest rejection. Because we want to clear that energy out of your energy system so that you're not carrying that around anymore. So you can start on the karate chop point, or really any of the points, because we're just going to tap through all of the points as I speak. There I am, and I'm feeling totally rejected. Totally unwanted. Like they don't even care if I'm here. And this does not feel safe at all. It is not safe for me to be here. And I feel it. I feel the tightness in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. It just doesn't feel safe to be here. They don't want me here. I'm a burden to my mother. She never wanted me, and she doesn't want me now. And I've always known that. I feel completely rejected. And I'm afraid. I'm afraid of losing their love. I feel completely rejected. I feel this rejection in my body. This tightness in my breath, in my chest. This tightness in my stomach. Feeling of rejection. The fear of being abandoned, the fear of being unloved. And maybe I made a vow back then, this little child. I made a vow to never let myself be vulnerable, ever. To never show that I have a need, ever. To be ready at the slightest provocation to run the other direction. Because if I were to show my feelings, if I were to show that I need this person, they're going to reject me, just like Mom and Dad did. If I show how vulnerable and how needy I really am, they're going to reject me. They're going to run away. Because people always reject me. The people I need and love the most always reject me. I've had so much evidence to prove it. All my life I've seen the evidence. And it started right back here with my mom. She never wanted me. She rejected me. Even when she was carrying me, she was rejecting me. All this feeling of rejection. Okay, so let's stop there. Take a deep breath. And I want you to just notice if you were feeling the sensations in your body before. Notice what has changed. And we're going to go through one more kind of quick round to kind of bring up a more positive sense around this. You may or may not be ready for this positive round. So if you're not ready, if there's a lot of emotion, a lot of sadness coming up right now, please go back and play this again and go through the tapping again. Okay, that's what I would recommend. So, on a more positive side, when you're feeling that the intensity has come down some, even though my mother didn't want me, and I felt rejected because of that, I felt like a burden. I felt like I had to be invisible. I had to be not as unnoticeable as I could possibly be and just kind of stay out of the way. I choose to know that it really wasn't anything personal. My mother was just going through a hard time. She had a lot of stuff going on in her life at that time. And I choose to know that this had nothing at all to do with me. Had nothing to do with my value, nothing to do with my worth, nothing to do with how lovable I am. Even though I felt rejected as a child, I felt rejected in my mother's stomach. I could feel her not wanting me. I could feel her fear, and I still have been carrying that fear around in my nervous system. And it affects me every time I start to get close to someone. I feel that coming up in my nervous system. It makes me want to run. It makes me want to hide because I don't want to get hurt and rejected again. Even though I felt this rejection from my parents, they really didn't want me, I choose to know that they were dealing with their own issues and that those issues had nothing whatsoever to do with me. I choose to know that I am lovable, I am worthy of love, and I choose to, instead of looking for evidence that everybody rejects me, I choose to start looking for evidence that there are quite a few people who do love me back. And I choose to look for evidence of that. And I choose to know that if someone doesn't choose to go on a date with me or to be in a relationship, that really doesn't have anything to do with me. That has to do with their own stuff. That's their own life. And I don't need to take that personally. And just tap through the points. I'm allowing myself to know that I am worthy of love. I'm allowing myself to find evidence that people do love me. I'm allowing myself to look for and to find that people do love me, they value my friendship, my time, they do value me. I choose to allow myself to be vulnerable, knowing that no one can really hurt me, because I don't take this personally anymore. Instead of seeing it as a rejection, I choose to see it as people simply choose to do whatever works for them. And that's really okay, because I do that too. And I know that it's nothing personal. They're just doing what works for them. It has nothing to do with my value. It has nothing to do with my lovability. And I'm at peace with this. Okay. Take a deep breath. And that was just one round or 2 rounds of tapping on this. And so I just want you to know that You know, you don't just run through 1 or 2 rounds of this and say, I'm healed, it's completely gone. What you want to do is run through this again and again and again, as many times as you need to, especially if you start attracting more feeling rejected. Just know that that is your wonderful higher self that is saying, yes, we need more opportunities, learning opportunities. And take it as such. It's a learning opportunity so that you can come back, put this video on again, and tap through that feeling of rejection. Because eventually what will happen is that button that you have on you that says rejection on it will be gone. And you see, people can't push that button if you don't have a button anymore. And so that is what I'm really hoping for you. So, once again, my name is Dawn Priolet, and I have really enjoyed sharing this video with you. And I will see you in the next video.